My name is Anthony Remis, and I own and operate Remis Computer Solutions. At Remis Computer Solutions, we build custom workstations and, on occasion, gaming builds. I started the company in 2015. The first time I really got into computers would have been about 2003 when I finally purchased my own computer. It was a Dell, so really PC gaming is what encouraged me to learn how to upgrade and modify components a little bit, started painting parts and customizing. Remis Computer Solutions really takes on each client as a individual situation. My typical client tends to be in the architecture and engineering field, from individually licensed architects to actual larger firms. Aside from engineering and architects, I do a lot of builds for software developers, and there's a mix of video and gaming builds, but usually it's architecture, engineering, and software development. One of the things we do at Remis Computer Solutions is optimize for their software. So we determine what their hardware is actually doing within the tasks that they're doing in their software. Discovering if they have a CPU clock speed limitation or a multi-core limitation. Most clients don't actually know that. So I help them understand what they really need. For the person that thinks you should always build rather than buy, it's really a matter of what you're doing with your system and how do you value your time. If you're an enthusiast, by all means, learn to build a system and go through the process and be prepared to tackle any hurdles that may come. But a workstation user, they may have a billable hour rate of $200 an hour. Building a computer is actually going to cost them money. And that's if it works the first time right out the gate. There's no dead on arrival stuff. So there's really just two different types of users. After initial consultation and parts are in, a system gets assembled in sub-assemblies. I start with the motherboard, and then after the motherboard, cooling gets addressed. And once all that's put aside, I take out the chassis and I strip it down. I remove fans, covers, anything that's unnecessary, and it gets assembled through those sub-assemblies. Once the computer is actually done, it makes it over to the stress test bench, where it gets clean power through a power conditioner, a UPS, just to help eliminate anything funky. In Nevada, we got ACs running all the time. If a system passes, it moves on further down, but if it fails, which happens on occasion, it makes it back to the assembly table for further troubleshooting. If a system passes stress testing, it's ready to ship image installed, which has the out-of-box experience. It gets boxed up and it makes a trip down to get shipped out. I go above and beyond to pay attention to all the little details when assembling a system, from trying to get cables routed as perfectly as possible to even putting zip ties all in the same orientation. One of the unique things about my workstations is that I'm not afraid to use Core i7, i9 components over Xeons, or GeForce over Quadros. If my client's application benefits better from clock speed, I'm usually going i7, i9. If their application doesn't leverage any of the features that Quadros offers, I'm not going to sell them a Quadro. I try to really tailor the hardware for their use case. Regarding chassis selection, I definitely enjoy using Fractal design for their professional and clean look. I think that embodies what I want my systems to look like, and I also appreciate that they have a range of sizes in their chassis. Their ITX case looks the same as their full-size tower, and when a client of mine has multiple systems for many applications, I think it helps keep the look of the systems consistent. Another value to using Fractal design is their customer service. Thankfully, their cases are extremely well built and reliable, but the times I've needed to use their customer service, they've been quick to ship out the items I need. They even replaced a panel that UPS damaged at no cost to me or my client. Some of the coolest scenarios that my systems are being used in, I honestly dork out on the architecture clients. It amazes me how they could come up with a drawing in one software, plug it into a visualization program, and have their clients do a VR walkthrough of their home or office before it's ever built. I have another client that's a software developer. They're basically doing high-speed motion capture without any devices mounted on a person's body. So it's ideal for athletes, and they actually work with some professional teams in helping their athletes get better performance out of their movement. Being a small business owner means extremely long hours and hard work, in which I totally love. I couldn't do the hours I do in a job that I didn't like, but because I do what I love, it's actually worthwhile. I'm working hard to enrich my life and my family's life. There's definitely plenty of challenges, but because I love what I do, it's all worth it.